Before the day begins speaking to you, before names, tasks, and expectations gather their weight, there is often a small, quiet moment that passes unnoticed. Morning thirst, a reaching for water without thought, a sip taken while already moving, a day entered at speed, as though arrival were optional. Have you ever noticed how rarely the morning is met? Not rushed through, not managed, but met, as one meets a doorway. There was a time when water was not taken in passing, when the body paused naturally to receive it, when stillness came first, not as a practice, but as instinct. People stood, they drank, they waited, not because they were taught to, but because the body already knew that water asks for presence. Long before clocks ruled the morning, long before urgency learned to speak first, water was a quiet agreement between the day and the one entering it. Stillness is not effort. It is not a posture to correct or a discipline to maintain. Stillness is simply the body arriving at the same place as the mind. When you stand without moving, even briefly, something ancient settles. Nothing needs to be adjusted. Nothing needs to be improved. The pause itself is enough. Standing still is not about holding the body rigid. It is about allowing movement to wait its turn. Morning is not just a time. It is a crossing. The place where night releases you and the day begins forming its questions. How you step across that threshold often echoes quietly for hours afterward, not loudly, not dramatically, but in the smoothness of your first decisions, in the way your thoughts cue themselves, in how the day seems to meet you rather than push against you. Water taken in stillness becomes a kind of companion at the gate, not leading, not instructing, simply walking with you into what comes next. When the morning comes, before the day gathers momentum, stand anywhere that feels safe and ordinary. Near a window, in the kitchen, by the place where the light first reaches the floor. Hold a glass of water. Stand completely still. Not upright in a formal way, not corrected, simply unmoving. Drink at a pace that feels natural. Not slowly, not quickly, just as the body chooses. When the glass is empty, stop. There is nothing else to add, no words to repeat, no thought to hold, no meaning to force. The water has already done its part by meeting you where you are. Water does not rush, yet it arrives everywhere. It does not insist, yet nothing living escapes its influence. To drink water while standing still is to let continuity pass through you without interruption, not as a command, not as a wish, but as recognition. Water has always moved life forward without needing encouragement. It does not require belief. It does not wait for certainty. It simply continues. When you stand and drink, you are not asking for change. You are allowing something reliable to move through you before the day begins asking anything at all. By the third morning, some notice the day starts without friction. Not easier, just smoother. Thoughts arrive with more space between them. Movements feel less hurried, even when time is limited. By the seventh morning, others describe something harder to name, a steadiness that stays, a sense that the day is being entered rather than chased. Not every morning feels different, not every day carries clarity, and yet something quiet seems to remain even when the hours become full. There is no correct feeling. If nothing seems to change, nothing is wrong. If the practice is forgotten one morning, nothing is lost. This is not a test, not a method to master, not a promise demanding proof. Water does not evaluate you. Stillness does not keep score. They simply offer themselves again and again. For 7 mornings, begin the day without haste. Stand, drink, allow the body to arrive before the world does. Then move on and let the day unfold in its own way. Notice not what improves, but what softens, because Water has always known how to meet us exactly where we stand, and it always will.